We got this new Holland here that I just did the back grading over there to make a swayle. And I've got this homemade cab that's been on here for 20 years probably. And the problem I had was my mirror started flopping around. It actually broke right here, and this angle iron snapped. I threw an ugly weld on there so I could bolt my mirror back, and it's always been hooked to the loader. It's got a bolt here on the bottom, bolt here on the top, and then it bolts on the roll bar, and that keeps it elevated off the fenders, off the hood. But it looks like we've got a lot of play going on that's making this loader shuck around, you know, move around. That's almost a ½ an inch of clearance on the outside. On the inside, it's almost tight. The other side, we've got about, looks like 3/8 of an inch on the outside and about 3/8 of an inch on the inside. So 3/4 of an inch of room allows this loader to move left and right. And it's a quick attach, the 7308, and it sits on this round bar with a big cap on the end, and it moves back and forth with a load. And I'm not sure that's a big deal, but it seems excessive to me. And if this can move left and right, I think it's just shaking the cab all up. So what I'm wondering is, maybe you guys would know if I have to keep that gap. It changes when I lift the loader up. If I press down on the bucket, this will move back and forth, in or out. They might want that. That's part of their strategy to keep it, I don't know, balanced. But to me, that's excessive. And tractors in the past, I've seen them mount solid, and the only thing that moves is your pivots. So I'm wondering if I shouldn't raise the bucket up, slide this over, get a happy medium on both sides, and then just weld a spacer in there so that the loader can't move all over the place. Like I said, 3/8 of an inch left and right on this side. And then this one is all the way over to the right hand side. And you can see how much movement is happening in there. To me, that's excessive. It'd be nice if I had, that's about a 2-inch, all a 2-inch. Probably ought to measure that. And it'd be nice if I had like a curved, I don't know if this is dusty enough to write on it. Probably not. But if I had a curved slot like you do a receiver hitch on a vehicle, and slid it down there and then just put a tack weld on it, and that would be a test. I don't have a plasma cutter to cut steel like that. But if I could come up with something to put in there, I want to see if this is going to work. Well, it's about 42 degrees out. We're almost ready for our first frost. What I think I'll do is fire it up. I gotta do the glow plugs, but fire it up and lift the loader up and see if I can shuck it over about in the center. Let me show you what that does here. By lifting the loader up and down, see that move right there? When I press that down, it lifts up. It's not sitting on that, and it allows that to tilt in and out. So right now this is about 3/8 on both sides. Let's see what the other side did. Now see this side that was 3/8 and 3/8. It's got almost, that's over 1/2 inch on the inside now. So that changed quite a bit. So I can reach a loader from this side. It's see all that movement? So that seems excessive to me. I know I've used it for 23 years, but it looks like it's wearing down in and keep dropping lower. Not sure what I want to do. Hi, Tiger. What you doing? I'm going to think this out here, see if I can come up with a solution. But like I said, if I measured equally and I had a spacer to put in there, then that would allow it not to move very much. And I know on a friend of mine's Kubota, what they have up here on the top of the loader is an arm that goes from about here up over down to the other side, and that keeps that from moving that way. I don't know what it does on the bottom because a lot of the stress is down here at your lift arms. This is a pivot. Like I said, the tractor's getting a little older now. Oh, here we go. We got the Tiger. What are you doing? You out here mousing or something this morning? But I think it's excessive to me, and I think it's going to keep, trying to break the cab on this. The cab, like I said, it's homemade out of just whatever I had. But there's no real place to mount it to the tractor. And I didn't want to drill holes in anything, so I went right to the loader. And the loader used to be super tight, but now it's, getting tired like the rest of us. So let's figure this out. Alright, what I came up with, still a little hot to touch. I had a length of 1/2 inch rebar. I put it in the tractor bucket here. There's a little hole in it for drain, I think. And I put the bar in there and put a 3-foot pipe on it and bent this around. I made 2 of them. They're just about the same. I think this will work. You see that gap in there? Look how that'll sit right in there. And I think if I run a weld here, or even just a good tack on both front and back, there's no way that loader can shift back and forth. It's not the prettiest thing, just like this weld down here, but I changed this mount a couple years ago so I can take the loader off. Otherwise it's hooked to the loader and I got no place to hook the cab. There's no attachments on this tractor, like a lot of them have a metal frame. These Boomer series, everything's plastic. Underneath there's a couple frame mounts, but they're hard to deal with. I might grind this up, grind this off, weld that, slap some paint on it. This might cure it. It's the same on both sides. So I think I'll just clean some paint up, Time for a little grinding disc here. If I put a new disc in, it'll probably cut that a lot faster, get that smoother looking, and then I'll throw a little bead of weld on that. And this thing ought to work just fine. It's not the prettiest thing, but I don't see how that would affect the loader going on and off. If it's round, it should lift right up. So, and it's not super tight in there. There's a little play still, so that should work fine. And then if I need to remove it, it's out here where I can just grind the weld off. So I think that's going to work fine. got the Lincoln 140 out here. Temperature on high. Wire speed 3. I put a new tip in it, so hopefully it'll advance good now. Got a good ground. Let's see if we can get a tack on this. I'm not a welder. I just play with a welder. So let's check this out and see what happens. I usually can't see very good. That's my excuse, guys. Well, that seemed to work okay. I'm blinded now, right? How's the chicken scratch look? Probably could use a little more right there. But I want to keep the weld up where I can grind it off if I want to remove these parts, if this doesn't seem to work good. I don't want to weld under any, I want to weld right where I can grind it off. Maybe just a tad more. Alright, let's see what we got here. See if we got some chicken scratch going on. Let's move you down here. Got a little slag to clean off, but I got a weld right across the rebar like that, and it's about 3 inches long, so that'll definitely hold it there. I think I'll pretty it up a little bit, get the wire brush out here, and then maybe grind it slightly, wipe off the dirt here, and maybe even put some paint on it. I want to test this bucket to make sure it goes up and down real smooth after I do both sides. Yeah, there's a little splatter. I should probably get a tub of that anti-splatter material that people are using. I'm sure that helps. I think I'll just hit it lightly with a grinder. See what we get. Well, still a little hot. It's not really sharp or anything, so I'm happy with that. So if I'm over here monkeying around, I'm not going to cut myself on it. And then I don't know why that wouldn't work. I'll get a pry bar and see how much play is left in there. But I think there's probably another 1/8 of an inch. Got to have some play on it. Let's go and do the other side. Alright, let's see what we can get on this side. And get a good ground here. This has about a 1/16 inch of room. You see this isn't tight in there. So I'm hoping this is going to work. I hope it's not a fail or we'll be doing some grinding. And hi Tiger, what you doing? Don't look at the weld. Alright, so let's see what we can do on this side. Not bad. A little crooked, not bad. Alright, let's see what we did here. Yeah, it's not perfect. You know, I'm not a welder. It's got decent penetration on it. Get her cleaned up a little bit. I think that's definitely going to hold. I think what we should do is fire it up, Terrell. Terrell fixes all. Let's fire this up and test the loader to see how much movement we got right here. And remember back before it went back and forth, back and forth. Can you see that? Yeah, you should be able to be in a good spot. Let's test this out. And hopefully it doesn't bind or anything, you know. See if we did it all in vain or not. It's been a while, so I have to use a glow plug again. I'm going to go the full length here. There's still a little gap there, a little gap on the inside. I'm going to go down all the way. Anything in the way? No? Yeah, there's cord in the way. Let me do that, and then we'll put a little down pressure and see how bad this moves now. I see it moving, do you? It's not moving left and right now, it's just moving that rod. I kind of like that. Let's go on the other side and check that out. About a 1/16 of an inch of movement there. Same on the inside. Let's see what we got for movement. I'm going to go up and down again. See that movement? I'll send it all the way up. When it gets to the top, it used to shuck back and forth. And what bothered me with that, I probably didn't explain yet, was when I had I think the bucket holds almost a third of the yard or something, I don't know. And that's a lot of weight. You know, it might be 800 pounds, I don't know. I get a nice scoop on it. When I raised it up and the tractor was not level, it was slightly off and leaning down. You could feel this shucking, and sometimes it would slide and do a little click and banging noise. So that's why I'm doing this. You can see where it used to ride all the way across there, and now it's not. See how the cab is not even moving down. That's not really a hack, but maybe it is, you know. You see the play on that? And it's probably 23 years of use. This is a quick attach. It used to have a snap pin, and I didn't like that, so I put a bolt with a lock nut on it. And then this arm comes up and presses on it. And there is no adjustment to tighten that up. But on the front of the bucket, up in here, where it rests on this, it does the same thing. It shucks back and forth. To me, it seems like it would have had, you know, some kind of spacer on it. But these two big bolts here, these are, I think they're 3/4 inch or 1 inch bolts. Let's see what they are. Yeah, they're all a 3/4. You loosen those two up, and you can tighten the loader up right here. Well, you're not even in focus, sorry about that. Right here. You can loosen these up and pivot this pin, this arm, and it locks on tighter right here. Right now it's pretty tight, but it looks like I could go a little bit further if I wanted to. I don't think I'm going to mess with it. I think I'm going to put a little paint on that and try it out and go get a scoop of dirt and see. Well, this looks like it's a fix. And no, it's not super pretty. It does take up that gap. The bucket doesn't shift around now, the loader. And I think it'll be easy to remove by tipping the grinder and cutting that off. And remember, the loader still lifts right off in there. So I think that's a good way to keep this cab from shifting around, keeping the loader steady. And then it's going to be more steady when I have a load of gravel or topsoil or something in the bucket. It holds about this is a 5-footer. It holds about a third of a yard, I think. and time to pick up the toys and go play with it. But this is up here near the mirror. It broke the mirror bracket, twisted it right off, and snapped the steel right through here. So I welded that up, put a little brace on the inside here. A little ugly, threw some paint on it, but that definitely should cure it. So thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.